Okay, so now after creating a swipe match, now let's just make it more user friendly by alerting the user that a match has been found. So for that, we can go to this website. You type devdojo.com/pines/docs to this website, devdojo.com, and go to Pines. In here, we can simply look for the model, this one. So when you click here, it's gonna give us a nice model. This just helps us not type this by ourselves and make the coding faster. So for that, we can just go to code. It's just a simple code looking like that. Now for us, we can copy this and let's go to our editor. Here, let's close all these files, including this one. Here, let's open our swiper component, the blade. Now in here, we can just, down here, let's paste this code saying match found. Let's paste that. And now if you go to our code, right here, if I click that, now the model is showing up like that because it's also Alpine, so it should work directly without any editing. All right, now for us, we're gonna go back. In here, let's set the open to true for now. This one, model open to true. Let's also format the document. After that, let's close that. And let's work on this. Now for this one, we're gonna work on this element here. If you go to the one which says this one, flex item center, justify between. So this one's going to be our header, so we can leave it. But now for this one, why it's relative and background white, we're gonna make a few changes. In here, first of all, we can make the height to full, and then we want to change the height on small screens to make it 550 pixels. And then in here, we're gonna call this one the header and the main. In here, let's just remove this model title, right? And we can just remove this flex. And then for the padding, let's remove this padding bottom. Let's add padding 2 and py 2. Let's make it a block. Yeah, I guess make py 3. Right, in here, let's change this one to main. Our main. And here in our main is going to be relative auto. Let's make it flex code, and then gap y9. Now in here, let's remove this element. First of all, we're going to create an element, div.mxAuto flex code gap to item center, justify center. Right, in here, we're going to have about 2 elements. First is going to be the Tinder logo, and then down here is going to be H5. Let's make it font bold, then saying it's a match. Let's just increase the text to maybe 2XL. Yeah, now if you go and check, if we refresh, now we have something looking like this. It's a match, but now let's make the text a little bit bigger, and let's also add the Tinder logo here on top. So here, let's make text 3XL. For the Tinder logo, we can just simply type Command P or Control P, I think on Windows. Here, let's search for navigation. In the navigation, remember we added the Tinder logo here. This one where it says logo. Let's copy that. Let's paste the logo here. Let's say div. Let's say div.mxAuto. Paste the logo there. Now if you go and check, it's not really looking because it's showing, because it's white. So let's change the text to red, 500. All right, good. Now let's go back. Let's just make it like 14 here and 14. Right, now after this div, down here we're gonna have another element. Okay, let's say show matches. It's going to be a div flex item center gap 4 mxAuto. In here, I'm going to have 2 elements, I think. Let's go some span. Here it's going to be an image, rounded full, height 32, width 32. Let's click enter. Inside here for the HTTPS, for the source, let's type HTTPS source.unsplash.com /200 x 200 for the size. In question mark, here we can say face -1. We can simply copy this. We type face 2. Alright, now if we go and check, alright, now it says we have a match. If I refresh here, it's going to bring 2 images here. Now let's just make it a little bit, like look much better here out. Here in the class, here in the class, let's add ring. Here, ring, make it rows 500. For the ring down here, we just make the ring same pink 500 over 40 opacity. So now if I go, now I have a nice ring like that. Now it's a match. So after that, down here, I'm going to have an action. Let's create some actions after this div. This is going to be div dot again mx alter. Want to center it, grab 5. Here we're going to have a div here dot background. Let's say Tinder, text white of course. Yeah, let's make the font bold and rounded full. Yeah, actually here, make this one a button. Right now for this, let's say send a message. And here for the button, let's just copy this one, paste it down here. Here we're gonna say continue swiping. Alright, for this, I'm gonna change the background to gray 500. So now if we go and check, awesome. Now I have a send the message and continue swiping. Now for the continue swiping, here it's going to be, it's gonna close this model. Because here if you see, in this model we have this X data, this one showing open model open true. So in here I'm gonna say at click model open false. Alright. Now for this, in order for us to actually listen to this, like open this automatically, here let's go back to our swiper. In here, show match found. You're gonna dispatch an event. We can call this one here this dispatch. The event is going to be match found event. And after dispatching this, we'll be able to now listen to this here. Let's call this navigation. Here in the X data, we can simply listen to this. Let's say at match found dot window. Then it's going to be, let's set the model open to true. Okay, so now after doing that, now we can go ahead and set this one to false by default. Now if we go and refresh, it won't show. And then let me just go to the database. In here, let me delete the swipe. Here, here, make sure that all the swipes are deleted. Mine is empty already. So now if I go right here on this user, let me refresh. If I swipe right, okay, yeah, showing it's a match, but it's not supposed to show like this. So now let's go back. In here in the swiper, let's make sure that you add this match found. Make sure that it is inside this if statement. So here, put that there. And now let me go back. Database, remove the swipe here, remove the swipes. Let me delete those. Now if I go and refresh here, go back and refresh there. Now if I swipe here, and then I go back to the other user, let me refresh. Here if I swipe, you see it's a match. Now it's working correctly because a match has been found. I can click continue swiping and I can go back. Alright, so now if I go, let me refresh this, let me remove these swipes so we can show you another condition. Here if I refresh, if I also refresh, if I swipe left and then here I swipe super like or up, nothing's gonna show because there's no match. So now this is working good. So that's it. Now before we close the video, let's go ahead and remove this open because don't wanna trigger this by manually. Let's go in our swiper. Let's remove this button just after the template. Let's select all this and remove it. So I'm only gonna have the template as the child element. Oh yeah, so that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.